So I have a 19-year-old son who is autistic and non-speaking. And I think as a parent of a child with autism, one of the most challenging things has been access to schools.
ETV Africa News at this hour.
My name is Jackie Mathaga. I am a founding trustee for the Pan-African Congress on Autism. I am a trustee at Others Dream Autism Trust as well. I work at Daystar. I do many things. But on this particular day, I think I'm speaking to you about the Pan-African Congress on Autism that just kicked off today, 23rd of April, and it is going to be finished by 26th of April. So the Pan-African Congress on Autism is a congress that started in 2019, and it brings together everybody and anybody who does something on autism and in the continent of Africa. So we are aware that April is Autism Awareness Month. So to be ending this month speaking matters autism for us is great. So we have not only speakers, but we have doctors, we have assessors, therapists that have come from all over Africa in order to participate. So I have a 19-year-old son who is autistic and non-speaking. And I think as a parent of a child with autism, one of the most challenging things has been access to schools. So just having, especially when he became a teenager, having transition services for him. As you're aware, we have an education system that is new in the country. But what's happening currently is that those who are autistic and they're in junior high and need to transition from the lower classes to junior high are getting lost in the system. So they end up being at home. So transition in terms of schools has been one of the toughest things for me as a parent. Having a child not know where to go to school is one of the cries of many parents with disabilities, especially parents of children with autism. We don't have schools. So right next door to us, there's a conference that's also happening that is for special education, I think, head teachers in the nation. And I had the opportunity to talk to them earlier today, and I was telling them really transition in this country needs to be handled better. We're not thinking about the child with autism or the child with another neurodevelopmental challenge and what happens to them in our education system or what happens to them when they need to move on to the next life stage. So this transition that I'm talking about also occurs when children exit high school. Where are we taking them? There are no spaces for them. So as a parent, I think education for my child has been the biggest challenge so far.
What advice would you give the parents who received an epilepsy diagnosis?
Okay, so if you have a child with a disability and they have, and then seizures happen or epilepsy becomes your diagnosis, the advice I would tell you is do not ignore the advice of your doctor. Follow up. So you got a diagnosis today. 6 months down the line, you need to be seeing a doctor. The meds need to be changed if they're not working, and then also factor in the fact that children grow and that different medication dosages are needed if your child is adding weight or getting older. So visiting your doctor regularly really should be something that parents cannot ignore and should not ignore. Yeah.
Eh? Asante sana. Na mtu ambaye yuko na hali ya kifafa hawezi akajifanyia hivyo mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo wazazi na wale caregivers huwa wanahusika pakubwa kuhakikisha ya kwamba huduma ya kwanza inaweza ikafanywa wakati ambapo mtu labda amepatikana na hali hiyo ya kifafa. Zaidi pia tunazungumzia kuhusu uhamasisho. Mimi nikiwa mwanaharakati wa kuhamasisha masuala haya ya ugonjwa wa kifafa. Hapa Kenya tumekuwa na campaign ambayo tunaita Angaza Kifafa, ambayo imezingatia zaidi kutoa mafunzo kwa madaktari kuhakikisha ya kwamba mtu yoyote ambaye anapata nafasi kwenda kwa hospitali ataweza kuonekana na daktari ambaye yuko na ufahamu wa haswa kifafa ni nini, na anaweza akafanya uchunguzi na akaanzishwa dawa ambazo zinastahili. Vile vile pia tumeona mchango mkubwa kwa wale ambao wanaitwa madaktari wa nyanjani ama community health promoters, ambao wanasaidia pakubwa ku-identify wale ambao wako na hizi hali za kifafa haswa kule vijijini. Tujue ya kwamba unyanyapaa umezunguka sana hali hii ya kifafa kiasi cha kwamba mtu akiwa na hii hali huwa anafichwa na huwa hapatiwi nafasi ya kujitokeza katika jamii na kuonekana. Kwa hivyo community health promoters wanasaidia kuidentify hawa watu na pia kuwapeleka hospitalini. Na zaidi ya hayo yote huwa tunamaliza na ile ambayo tunaita roadshow caravan ambayo sasa inaenda mashinani kuhakikisha watu wamepata ujumbe kuhusiana na hali hii ya kifafa. Kwa sasa hapa Kenya tunazungumzia watu kama milioni 1.5 ambao wanaishi na hali ya kifafa. Na nimetaja hiyo namba kwa sababu pia kuna uhaba wa madaktari ambao wanahusika pakubwa katika kutibu hii hali. Wanasaidiwa kwa ukaribu na wale ambao wanaitwa neurologist, na wao pia si wengi katika nchi yetu kama tunavyojua, na epileptologist nafahamishwa ya kwamba wako tu wawili katika nchi yetu hii ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo huo ni wito pia kwa serikali ya kwamba wazingatie kutoa mafundisho kwa ajili ya wale madaktari ambao wako, ili wawe na ujuzi wa jinsi ambavyo wataweza kutibu watu ambao wako na hali ya kifafa. Asanteni. Kizungu? Okay. Can I? Yeah, sure. Okay.
Should I rephrase the question again, or you're good?
No, I'm good. I think I have it. So my name is Frederick Beuchi. I'm an epilepsy awareness activist. I'm also a caregiver of a sister who lives with epilepsy. She was diagnosed with epilepsy when she was 2 years old. Right now she's 20 years and she's seizure free for about 7 to 8 years. What I can say as a caregiver, caregivers play a very big role when it comes to bridging the gap of treatment for epilepsy, in the sense that when one has epilepsy, indirectly he or she affects about 5 people. Not in the sense that she's able to pass that epilepsy to the family members, but they are able to be concerned about that one family member who has epilepsy. And so that concern comes up especially when you have to do a follow-up on what is the right time to give this person their medication. And at this point we talk about adherence to medication. And also, most importantly, when a seizure occurs, the caregivers, are they able to give the proper and right first aid to help this person? And that's why we see a big role of caregivers in helping to take care of persons living with epilepsy. Also, the other bigger role that a caregiver plays is to give that assurance and the care and the love, because epilepsy is surrounded with a lot of myths and misconception, stigma and discrimination. So you might find out in a community the only people who can give assurance and hope that this person can get better and well is the caregivers or the people who are closer to that person, which really helps when it comes to people living with epilepsy developing that spirit of acceptance for whatever condition that they are being treated, and also having the hope that one day this condition will fully be treated. In terms of awareness, we have really tried to make sure that information and knowledge reaches out to people. In Kenya, we have a flagship campaign that is called Angaza Kifafa, which has 3 categories, where we do refresher trainings to clinicians, and also we do trainings to community health promoters. And these 2 people are very key in not only helping when someone visits the hospital to do a proper diagnosis of whether they have epilepsy or not, but also in terms of reaching out to people with information. The community health promoters help to even identify those people who have epilepsy, but they have been locked in homes. They are children of school-going age, but they have been denied the opportunity and the right to go to school. So they really help in making sure that these people are identified and they are either taken to the hospital, or if they are able to attend and go to school, then they are given an opportunity to do so. Epilepsy is of concern to our country because we are talking about 1.5 million people living with epilepsy. And again, there is a very big problem when it comes to the health practitioners or specialists that can help us in treatment of epilepsy. When we talk about epileptologists, we only have 2 in the country, and they are being helped closely with neurologists, who again are not so many. So at the ratio of the numbers that we are talking about against the doctors that can help, really that is a concern, and that's why we keep urging even the government to look into these gaps and see how they can enhance training for doctors who will be available to assist when it comes to bridging the gap of treatment for such a condition as epilepsy. The name? My name? Okay. So again, my name is Frederick Beuchi. I'm an epilepsy awareness activist and a caregiver, and also a co-founder of Foundation for People with Epilepsy organization.